Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I am doing the Racing to Read book tag. It's part of the Reading Rush. I'm doing the Reading Rush again this year. And it's just a book tag, man. I don't think I've ever done a book tag. Have I? Maybe I have. I don't know. It's a book tag, okay? We're gonna talk about some books, because I want to do that. First question, Warmup. What is a book that stretches your mind? Now, I went kind of the philosophical route on this one. A book that stretches my mind is this one. It's called Taming the Tiger Within. It is by, man, we all know who this is, but like, can anyone pronounce it? I can't. This is a book that I've been reading for the past 2 years. It's not a book that you just sort of read in one go. It's something that, you sort of pick up, read a few pages whenever you feel like you need it type of book. I also read this sometimes before meditating. It's just a collection of like short little pieces of wisdom. Sometimes it's short, sometimes it's longer. I'll just read you an example of, I think this is the last thing I read. If you see elements of garbage in you, such as fear, despair, and hatred, don't panic. As a good organic gardener, a good practitioner, you can face this. I recognize that there is garbage in me. I am going to transform this garbage into nourishing compost that can make love reappear. Beautiful. Question number 2, Startline. What is a book that you started but never finished? This book I don't own anymore because I donated it. God, I don't remember the title. The last book in the Hunger Games series. See, I really liked the first Hunger Games book. I really liked it, and I just thought it was revolutionary. I was like all about it. I thought Katniss was like a little bit annoying, but I was like, I don't know, the story's really good. And then I read the second one. Just bad stuff happened in that book. First of all, my favorite character died, but even more importantly, just Katniss, man, she just annoyed me so much. So like, I didn't like that, but I was like, I want to keep reading because like I bought the whole set of books, so like I should keep reading, plus everyone's reading these books. So I kept reading, finished the second one, thought it was okay. Then I tried to read the third one, and it was just hell. I took so long getting through like the first half of it. I had like months where I wouldn't read any of it, and just like I would give up on it and then I would start again, but I would just get annoyed with Katniss immediately. And eventually I was like, screw it, I don't need to read these books. There's a movie series. So actually, I saw the last movie not knowing how it was going to end, so that was quite fun, because honestly, I prefer the movies when it comes to the Hunger Games, because you're not in Katniss's head the entire time, so it's like less annoying. But hearing Katniss's thoughts all the time was just so annoying to me. Katniss, don't like her. Sorry, that was a little bit of a rant. Sprint, a book you read quickly. I read this book real quickly. I just read this today from start to finish. I mean, it's a short book. It is under 100 pages. But yeah, man, read this real quickly and I really liked it. This book was great. If you want to know more about what I think about it, I guess just watch my Reading Rush vlog or my Reading Rush wrap up, which maybe I'll do. I haven't decided yet. If I did, I'll link them below. Next question, Marathon. What's your favorite long book? Now this one, I had a couple of contenders, but all in all, if I have to go by like favorite, like the book that brings me the most joy, I'm gonna have to go for Half-Blood Prince. Whenever people ask me what my favorite Harry Potter book is, I choke a little bit because it's hard to choose. I really like the first one just because, it's so whimsical, and like watching Harry discover the magical world is so, it just makes me so freaking happy. That's not a very long book. Then I also really like Deathly Hallows because it all just like wraps up so beautifully, but I don't reread that one as much because it hurts too much. There's so much death. Also, it's like the end, so like, I just cry so much. So that's why I couldn't pick Deathly Hallows for this one. This is like the part of the story that interests me the most in Harry Potter series, in the sense that there's so much more of the dark side in this book. Like, we get to see Voldemort's life and Voldemort's memories and stuff, which is so cool. We finally get to like figure out what Horcruxes and stuff are, which is so exciting. We have that beginning part with Snape and like the whole thing with like Draco and his mission to kill Dumbledore. And oh man, and then there's the fact that Harry is like completely obsessed with Draco during the entirety of this book, which I mean, this book holds so many good memories to me. I know that Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, and the whole fandom is in shambles right now. It's a mess. I was thinking of like maybe doing a video on the whole thing. I don't know yet. I have a lot of feelings about the whole situation, and I'm quite hurt about the whole thing. But this is still one of my favorite books of all time. Like that, I don't think that's ever gonna change. So yes, Half-Blood Prince. Next question, hurdles. What's a book that had ups and downs? You can interpret this in many ways. I just picked a book that talks about ups and downs. It's called Fall Down 7 Times, Get Up 8 by Naoki Higashida. I've talked about this book on my channel before. It's such a good book. More people need to read it. It's written by a Japanese guy who has autism, and he just sort of talks about his life and how he, manages to get up whenever he falls down, how he gets over the many hurdles in his life. Living with autism presents so many hurdles in everyday life, but the way he thinks and the way he writes is so beautiful. This is truly one of the most inspiring books I've ever read. I could also use this one as the one that stretches my mind, because this one really did. Just highly recommend this. There is not enough representation or just information or just mindfulness when it comes to autism. I think we don't talk about it enough, and I think most people don't know enough about autism. So I would want everyone to read this book. I think it's great. Next question, finish line. A book you were proud to finish. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first book I read this year is a very long book. I think it's over 700 pages, and I did not like this book. Oh no. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Wait, that sounds way too dramatic. No, but like reading wise, it's like one of the hardest things I've ever had to get through. It was so the whole way through. But it's one of those books that everybody talks about and everybody thinks it's great, and so many people say it's their favorite book of all time. So I kept thinking I have to keep reading, maybe it'll get better. It didn't. I'm probably gonna piss people off by saying this, but I hated this book. I hate The Name of the Wind. I hate it. I can't freaking stand this book. If this was like a short book, I probably wouldn't hate it as much, but like the fact that I was just struggling through this entire thing, and it took me like 3 months to finish because I was so mad at it the entire time, and like the longer it went on, the more mad I became. I hate this book. It looks so cool. Look at the cover. Look at this cover. It's one of the most beautiful books I own, high key, and I kind of don't want to get rid of it because the cover's so pretty, and also it's kind of like a trophy because I'm like, I finished this book. I read this entire thing. I am so proud that I finished this, even though I hated it. Like, this shows that I am not a quitter. Also, look how, like, doesn't this kind of... Listen, this is one of my favorite paintings of all time. It belonged to my grandmother, and ever since I was a child, I've been obsessed with this painting. And when I saw this cover for the first time, I was like, oh my god, it reminds me of that painting. It's nothing like this painting. This painting is great. It sparks joy. This does not. I hate this book so much. I'm so sorry if you love this book. People are different. People enjoy different things, and that's fine. So don't come for me, please. But if you do like this book, please tell me why you like it, because I cannot, for the life of me, understand why, and I would love to understand. I really would. So, yeah. Sorry. Next question. Gold medal. Best book you read during a readathon. There was one book that kind of came to mind, so I just went for that one. It's the one that I have like the fondest memories of. I've definitely talked about this book before. It is Dandelion Wine by Ray Bradbury. This is the book that got me obsessed with Ray Bradbury. He's now probably my favorite author, or one of my favorite authors. This is still my favorite book by his. I just love the way he describes things. He's so good at painting such a beautiful, vivid picture of what's going on. And like this book, like not much happens in this book. This book is just like a warm summer breeze. I also feel like it's a book for people who really love aesthetics. That's probably sounds really weird to say. It's one of those books like if you're really into cottagecore aesthetic, or if you're a Hufflepuff, like it's that kind of a vibe. Like there's something about this, even though it's a book and there's no pictures in here, it's an aesthetically pleasing book. And I think that is just because of how beautiful Ray Bradbury can describe things. I don't know, man. I can't explain my love for this book. It's just great. It's just great. And then the last question, participation ribbon. An underrated book you wish got more attention. A book that I am absolutely obsessed with and I've read multiple times, and also nobody ever talks about it. It even has quite mixed reviews on Goodreads. Like a lot of people don't like this book. This is the Dutch version, but I think it's called Max and the Wild Things in English. It is a retelling, a novel version of Where the Wild Things Are. It's written by Dave Eggers. Dave Eggers is also one of my favorite authors. Man, this book, seriously, 50% of me reading this was crying. I don't know why this book hit me so hard, but it really did. The protagonist is a little kid. You know the story. I feel like this book goes a lot deeper than, you know, the original story does, but also it goes deeper than the movie, I feel like. I loved being inside this kid's head. I loved how whimsical and weird it was, and how hard-hitting it was. I think this book also inspired a lot of my writing in my first novel, because my first novel, the main character is an 8-year-old kid. I just love the portrayal of this little confused, angry boy who has so much to learn. I remember a lot of people saying about this book that they think it was unnecessary. I think it adds so much to the story. I highly recommend it. I recommend anything by Dave Eggers, but yeah, especially this one. I just think it's so good, and I think more people need to read it. So those were all the questions. My battery is gonna die at any moment, so I should wrap this up very quickly. I am now going to cut the camera and keep reading because I have a lot of books to read this week. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for my reading vlog, which will be up soon, hopefully. We will see. Okay, I think that's gonna be all for me today. See you in the next video. Good.